I'd like to show you how to start working into the foundation chain. When looking at the chain on the right or facing side, you can see two loops that look like V's or hearts. And when you turn it around to the wrong or non-facing side, we can see a bump or a dash across. To start working into the foundation chain, I'll show you 3 ways you can do that. For the first method, insert the hook on the top loop of the chain. We'll be using single crochet for this video, but it works the same with any stitch. So insert the hook through that top loop, yarn over and pull up a loop. You have 2 loops on the hook, yarn over and finish the stitch. Find that top loop again, insert the hook, yarn over, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over and finish the stitch. Continue inserting the hook through that top loop only, and I'll make 5 single crochet this way. This is one of the most common ways of starting into the foundation chain. One more single crochet using only the top loop on the chain, and now we can take a look at the result. You can see the stitches on the top, the B shapes. If you look at the bottom area, we can see some gaps or holes between the stitches. Those can become a little less noticeable as you continue working. However, if you are working on amigurumi, for example, you might not want these holes to be there when you work around the foundation chain. So depending on the work you are doing and your preference, this method might not be the right choice. I'm going to place a stitch marker here so we can see the difference as we move on to the second method. Now you're going to insert the hook through this top loop and this middle loop. Top and middle. The middle one is also the back bump on the chain. So insert the hook through the 2 front loops. You can see those loops here on the hook. Yarn over. Two loops. Yarn over and finish the stitch. Make sure you're grabbing the 2 loops, the top and the middle, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, finish the stitch. So we're grabbing these 2 front loops, top and middle, yarn over and finish the stitch. I'll continue with single crochet, grabbing the 2 front loops until I have 5 or 6 single crochet. We can compare the first and second method here. They're very similar to each other. You can see the stitches on the top, the same as before, but the stitches are much tighter and you don't have the gaps or holes on the bottom. Here we compare working around a foundation chain, for example. You can see that working with those 2 loops make a much tighter result and you don't see those holes on the chain. So this method will be great if you ever encountered that problem before. I'm going to place another stitch marker here, and then we'll move on to the third method. I'm going to continue with single crochet. We'll be turning the chain around and looking for the back bump. So looking at the back of the chain, find the first bump, insert the hook, through that bump only, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over and finish the stitch. Find the next bump, insert the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and finish the stitch. I'm going to continue going into the back bump of the chain all the way until I finish all the stitches. Sometimes it can be a little difficult to insert the hook into that back bump, so just help it along a little bit with your fingers. Now don't forget this last bump here. It is part of your last stitch. Sometimes it could get confusing with the knot from the slip knot, but that is part of the last stitch. Now we can see it's fairly tight, nice compact. The biggest difference between these and the other ones is that you can clearly see the stitches on the bottom. You can really see the V's or the hearts compared to the other ones. This is the first one. You can see the holes on the bottom, but again, that is all depending on the project and your preference. So these are 3 different ways of starting into the foundation chain. Going through the top loop of the chain, going through the 2 front loops, and going through the back bump of the chain. I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions or comments.